What's up, guys? Mike here, and I'm going to tell you some stories about my experience with online dating. All of the stories that I tell you are 100% true. And with that being said, I have plenty of experience on dating apps, from POF, the Sugar Babies, the Sugar Mamas, to Bumble, to Plenty of Fish, to Backpage, to Snapchat, Instagram, Craigslist, Facebook ads, everything. All right? I've had a lot of terrible first dates, with that being said. So, something interesting happened here recently, and that was I was at the store, the grocery store, getting some groceries, and I ran into someone who drugged me. And I'm thinking, Mike, how could anyone drug you? I'm thinking, well, you don't know the story, so I'm going to tell you. So, anyway, a long time ago, I went out on the first date, and she seemed like a nice girl, kind of young, and I was younger as well, but she lived in the next state over from me, which is really 10 minutes away. It's a different state, just a separate little gap between us. And so I drove over to pick her up and everything, and I'm just thinking all of this back in my head. But I drove over there to pick her up, and it was at her parents' house. And the first problem that I had when I had to go pick her up was that she lived on one of these little streets that have a lot of those shotgun style little houses that go up, and they're all packed together. Well, I had to parallel park this truck that I was driving. I was driving my work truck because I had met her right after I got off work, and at the time I was doing landscaping and lawn care, and so I was in my own truck. I have all my equipment with me. Everything's tied up and secure, so I'm not too worried about it for the most part when I go out and about. So I was like, yeah, I'll meet up with you. And she's like, well, hell, halfway there, she's like, won't you just pick me up? I'm like, well, I'm in a truck. I've got a gigantic trailer on the back. I've got like, 25 grand worth of equipment on there. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll come pick you up. I'm exhausted. But I wasn't dirty or stinky or anything like that. So let's not get that all twisted. I didn't show up with like grass clippings all over my face and bug bites all over me. Uh, I stay relatively pretty clean when I do what I do. I try not to get too dirty. I don't need all that. Um, but anyway, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna instead of meeting you, we was gonna meet and have a drink because I was exhausted that day already. I had mowed the like maybe 10 lawns by myself, and I had a lot of weed eating, edging, cleaning up, and then some of them I did double cuts for more money, and all of that, and on top of unloading equipment, driving. You're mentally tired, hauling your trailer around the city and things like that. And so I just was really craving a good beer. Now at the time, I had already got over the whole Bud Light Budweiser thing, and I actually started drinking Modelo's, and occasionally, depending on if I was going to eat, I would get Blue Moons. Now they go with certain foods and things like that, or in some cases I'd get a glass of wine, like if I was having a steak dinner or something, perhaps. But anyway, so let's just start over. We go to the bar, and I pick her up and everything from her parents' house. That was a weird situation from the first time I stepped my foot in that door, is because she had like this little biker boyfriend of her mom's, and he was like 5'3", and I'm 6'1", 235, and he's like, "Yeah, let me get your license so I can take a picture of it and everything in case anything gets crazy. I'll know where to look for you at and this and that." Trying to be intimidating, but in a funny way. And my personality, I don't laugh at stuff like that. Like if you're trying to mess with me, because you're wanting to test me. You're wanting to see what buttons light up when you press them and what doesn't. So I was already off board of that train when he started talking like that. And the mom was kind of nice. You know, you could tell she had been recently divorced. Her husband was like got his life together and said, you know, I'm not gonna put up with you anymore. And so she ended up just getting the first thing that looked at her, I guess, just so she can feel some sort of I don't know, happiness. Who knows what she was thinking? She's probably just a really not a great person, because if she's anything like her daughter, she's probably a terrible person. And that's where the story keeps getting more interesting. Okay? So we leave the place, her house, whatever. Not a bad looking little house. Fairly clean. I was, you know, good impressions on that. But we go to the bar, and it's probably 6 in the evening or so. I had a late start that day because of rain and things like that, and so I had hauled ass all day to get to that point. But so we go there and we have some fun talking. I'm like, yeah, let's get a drink. You know, she wants to drink one of these really random like drinks that young millennium people drink. You know, like give me a, I don't know, some Angry Orchard beers and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is that? What are you drinking there? So anyway, I was like, okay, I'll have a Long Island iced tea. I'll just start it off really easy. Just go ahead and send it. And I want to, you know, just a solo cup with a little bit of ice in it. And I like a real thin coffee straw with a Long Island iced tea, because it makes it even more crispier that way. And it's pretty delicious. But anyhow, so I had one drink, and they were my choice because they were on the chalkboard for the special of the day, you know. And I think they were like a $2. I was like, wow, that's fine with me. Let's do it. Because listen, I was going through a lot of first dates, like too many times, and I was like, you know what? You got to manage your money. You can't just be taking every girl out all over the city and feeding them and then ditching them or whatever, or things not work out. You know, something don't work out, you're out $100 or some shit. That's not a good investment of my time. So I was trying to be just start off kind of slow before I just start throwing money around or whatever. So I just figured let's have a drink, you know, and keep it simple. So, but different people, different things you may want to do with them. I don't know. I was just really more to get to the point whether I was interested in her or not. And so I have my one drink, and I feel fine. And so I go to order a second drink. I had already went to the bathroom just one time, just to pee. Nothing crazy. In and out, wash my hands. So I had already finished my drink at that point. So I come back to order a second drink. And then I ended up drinking that drink. And mind you, I'm not paying no attention where the drinks, who touching the drinks and stuff, because I'm in this little small bar, and I've got a girl right in front of me. I got bottles everywhere, cups. She's grabbing stuff. So when she's going to grab things, who knows what she's grabbing or what's in her hands. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I go to finish that second drink, and I'm like, I have to go to the restroom. And some time had went by from the time I had the first one and ordered my second one, and was socializing. And meanwhile, too, her mom and her boyfriend rides up there on the Harley, and you know, now all of a sudden my little one-on-one scene that I got going on is now has been interrupted. And so now her attention's shifted. So it's like, here we go. I'm trying to see if I can hit a home run here or not. And I've got everybody all on the field, you know, running around being stupid. So I was hoping they would leave, but they didn't. So anyway, I finished my drink, and And then I actually had to go to the bathroom again, which was my second trip to the bathroom. And I remember, like I said, a lot of time had passed. Um, when I had gotten up, it felt like my whole world just kind of froze and just got very tunnel vision, and there was a quick like rush, and it was just really disorienting. It was like all of a sudden my life just kind of went, and I started to get really nauseous. I started feeling really weird, like I was fading in and out of my reality and perception of what's going on. I started to drift into some sort of like psychological little cave, and it was getting dark in my head, and my vision was starting to blur in a sense. So I go to the bathroom to try to get myself together because I was like, whoa, this is a weird feeling, and I'm panicking. And whoo, excuse me. And so I go to the bathroom, and by the time I make it to the bathroom, I am pouring sweat off my forehead. My back is wringing wet. My ass cheeks are soaking wet. And I was sweating so bad that at the time I was wearing glasses. I was sweating so bad that the sweat was coming off my forehead onto my eyelashes and then smearing onto the lenses of my glasses. It was just, and I was just hot. And when I started to get hot in there, I started throwing up. But then I had piss really bad. So I was pissing during all that. Pissing, throwing up, and the next thing you know, I gotta shit my pants. I gotta hurry up and turn around and shit. I'm shitting everywhere. I'm throwing up, and then and it's just I felt completely drained of everything I had. Like I was just hanging on mentally on life support. And so I walk out of the bathroom stumbling. And they're like, "Oh, you ain't driving home." I hear that. That's all I can hear. I don't see who's saying it. And apparently a lot of time had passed while I was in the bathroom because get this, guys. The girl, she left. Her mom, boyfriend, gone. Okay? Keep that in mind. So I'm talking to the bartender people. I'm telling this guy, he's like, "Listen, man." He goes, how far you gotta go?" I was like, he goes, "You got a friend nearby?" I was like, "Yeah, it's about a mile away." And that was no bullshit. I had a friend's house that was a mile away. And he was actually out of town, but lucky he had a key that was hitting outside for me and anyone else, I guess, that if I needed to get in or whatever for some reason, I had access. And so the guy was like, "Cool, man. Listen, if you think you can make it right down the road, so you don't get your shit towed, and you get home, get you some sleep." And they're all under the impression that I'm just tore up drunk, and I'm like, I'm trying to explain like something's not right with me, and it was like, maybe I should consider going to the hospital. And so I was like, hell, I just need to get out of here. I just want to go home and do a reset. And so I just drove to my bud's house. While he was gone out of town, and I drove there, parked the truck and everything, go inside, and then I ended up going inside, turning the air conditioning on because I was so hot and so drained, but so relieved to be in a safe area. And I wake up the next day, and the next day I had probably 8 or 9 lawns that had to be cut. And when I woke up, I had felt so bad. And this was the worst too, because I was out of state, and of course all my properties are in the state next to me, but the only way to get there is over a bridge that goes over a river. And that bridge was being built, which redirected everybody from other surrounding areas to this one bridge, while another one was being closed and worked on and painted. and they was building another one at the same time. So I had to sit in traffic for always probably anyhow maybe I don't know an hour and a half, just sitting there in the morning, just like dying, just like I can't wait to get home. And I just knew I had a lot of work to do that day, and I felt like shit. I felt so bad, and I just was like, I must have gotten drugged by this girl, and I never heard from her or anything afterwards. And so as time goes on, well, okay. So as time went on, the next holiday that followed was Father's Day, and I had gotten a message from a number that um, I didn't recognize, and it was hers because so much time had went by, and I never wrote her back or anything. I was just glad to get that over with. So that next day, and from that point on, she was just out of my mind, and but the whole memory of what happened to me overwhelmed any memory of me thinking about her or being upset. I just couldn't believe it, and it was just a crazy roller coaster. But she wrote me out of nowhere, like a year later maybe or something like that, and I just get a Happy Father's Day message. And then as time goes on, I remembered where she worked, and she had worked at the Walgreens in her little town that she was from, and she worked in the pharmacy department. Now I'm getting ready to throw something else to you guys. Remember when I said I came out of the bathroom and she was gone, and her parents were, or her parent and her boyfriend was gone, and left me there, and then, knowing that I was in the bathroom and maybe there was a reason or nobody was checking on me as the time went on. So I come out uh, of my buddy's house the next day, and I had gotten my debit card back from the bartender. Okay, as I was sick, that's the guy that gave me my debit card. He's like, listen, I'll follow you. Make sure you get to your buddy's house so you don't get told. And so he gave me the debit card and receipt. And folks at home, I had a $220 something bar tab. And I had gotten 2 drinks for myself that was a total of $4. And so what I think happened is the girl that works at Walgreens, that works at the pharmacy department, that likes to drink and get down and party on the free shit, decided to drug me and then send me on my way. That's crazy. It's crazy that, like, as a man being like drugged of some sort. Now listen, I had no one else but her in my little area, but I had drinks next door to me because it was like a round bar. So it's really anybody that would be able to come in my little zone, it could have been only her. And I never drank a drink after I had gotten up and came back. I'm assuming maybe I wasn't paying attention, and she might have had my drink in her hand and was drinking on it just to taste it, or curiosity. And when she grabbed it, she dropped something in there. And who knows? Who knows? But that's what I think happened. So that's my story of one of the times that I did I met a girl on a dating app, and it was horrible. It almost killed me. I blew my ass apart in that bathroom. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and you guys be safe, and make sure you run a background check on these people, because there's a lot of sick people out there. They're sicker than me, which is why.